Greetings fellas, I'm TrainBoy48, and if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button to get notified for new videos. Here we do countdowns, ratings, and reviews. We all grew up with Cartoon Network, watching shows like Powerpuff Girls, Fossil Slump Imaginary Friends, Dexter's Lab, and Hi Hi Puffy on Yumi, back then in the 1990s and 2000s. Boy, those were the glory days. But, heavens, did you know that there is a live show that features all these characters from each of their 4 series? Well, obviously not, because it was short-lived. And that live show I'm talking about is Cartoonival, a stage musical that ran from December 2006 to January 2007. First premiering in Kuala Lumpur before embarking a Southeast Asian tour with later productions in United Arab Emirates and Latin America. It briefly made a comeback in summer 2011 at Red Philo, but then disappeared afterwards. The show stars 14 larger-than-life characters from their own genres, singing and dancing along with a storyteller named Barnaby B. Brightly. It was created by John Rowe, along with the help of Stefan Nowak. He did the music. Now, John Rowe is someone who you might know. He's done theater productions like The Smurfs and Ben 10. He also appeared on TV like Australian Idol and The Wiggles. In his bio, he says creating for kids is a surprisingly grown-up game. It takes a talented team with skill, passion, and all the same creative energy as any Broadway musical. This explains he is very creative with his own idea that makes his shows engaging for kids to get up and groove. But for Cartoonival, this is kind of a gifted opportunity like no other. Now, before we start, there's never been users reviewing this show at all, even if they already saw it years ago, but never made a review about it. So it seems I'm the first one to do this. Now, since this is my first time reviewing, I'm gonna try and explain the show itself on what it's all about and tell you what my thoughts are. So, with that said, let's take a look at Cartoonival! The story is about all the cartoon characters enjoying the fair until they discovered the key is stolen by the villainous Mojo Jojo, and it's up to them saving Cartoonival. It's 70 minutes long, divided into 2 acts, and has additional 5 scenes signifying the cartoon world of each series they all come out on. So it's almost like a showstopper. There's also a diversity where the human characters interact with the mascot characters, which I think is done perfectly, as it makes them feel more welcome to the environment itself. Now, I personally love how the story is told. It's well writing and well played. So what I mean by additional 5 scenes is that all the characters have their own purpose of what they're doing in the first act before they all come together and form a group. Like the Powerpuff Girls doing their moves, the Foster's gang entering an underground coaster while meeting ghosts and zombies, which I don't know why this scene was added for them, by the way. Ami and Yumi rocking out with their jukebox music, and Dexter creating the world's most delicious cotton candy with his machine, until Dee Dee pops in at some point while doing her crazy shenanigans. By that point, they all come together and meet for the first time. I'm giving this a 10 out of 10 for great writing and the way that they introduced all these characters is nicely done. They did very well with the costumes for the characters. The designs look really accurate as they did in their respective shows themselves. You got Eduardo looking big and furry, Buttercup who's got the super tough look on her face, and Ami looking jolly as she's got pretty looks. I love how well they could flex their bodies while moving. Though, however, some of the characters' height are not really proportioned correctly. What do I mean by that, you might ask? Well, take like Wilt for example. In Foster's, he's really tall than the other imaginary friends. Excluding the new guy, of course. But here, he's scaled down almost to Mac. And Dexter, another example, in his series, he's smaller than Didi, but here, he's scaled up a bit as her. So it's kind of a flaw to see a couple of characters over height. But despite that, I still think the costumes are very good. I'll give it a 9 out of 10 for great detail, but the height could have been a lot more done. But nonetheless, it's how it is. There are 9 songs in total. When I first listened to them on the digital album, they weirded me out. But later, after playing them a bunch of times, they were not that bad. In fact, they're actually catchy. There are 6 that I actually enjoy. The opening, Beatmania, Round We Go Round, It's Gone, Doors, 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 and Every Day. Though my downfall is they are too short and some parts are cut off to the album. I mean, let's have a listen to the Everyday Final in the actual show itself. You notice anything? They cut off the beginning of that song in the soundtrack. I feel that it could have been a lot done better if John spent a little more time on them. Oh, and here's another thing that I realized. The characters are not voiced by their usual talented actors, like Tara Strong, Tom Kenny, Candy Milo, Keith Ferguson, or Phil Lamar. Instead, they're all voiced by Australian actors. I don't know who did who, but man, they sounded very different. Well, a few of them. The ones for Dexter, Eduardo, Coco, Didi, Buttercup, Bubbles, and Ami sounds almost close as they were in their series. But the ones for Yumi, Blossom, Mac, Blue, Wilt, and Mojo sound slightly different. It's kind of bland. I really have no idea why they must hire new people and not getting the actual voice actors themselves, but they're okay. I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. The songs were good, the voices are okay, but they could have done a lot better than what they have. At the end of the day, Cartoonival is a fancy whimsical science fiction, which was Cartoon Network's first live show ever. I think it's good, and I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 overall. But to be honest, I've never watched the play when I was young. It never came to a town near me. I heard about it when I was 12 in 2012 and didn't learn about the history until years later in 2020, which was last year's September. Speaking of, since the show is short-lived, there has been no full clips of the show entirety. Like, we don't get to see any of the songs or whatever that is happening in the show, like Mojo Jojo finally getting the key that he thought he had planned all along. The basic thing that we only got is from the ending, when all the characters started celebrating their victory. But that's just it, nothing else. But overall, the show is decent, and I think it should have had a longer run than it did. And that wraps up for what I have to talk about. Let me know, guys, what you think about Cartoonival. Have you seen the show back then? And have you not heard about it? Did you know what's it like there? Has it been great? Did you love it? Not like it? I really want to know. What was it like for you guys? And until then, this is Trainboy48 saying ta-ta!